Hello, now Tuesday drawing lesson. We'll have a beautiful girl this time, and as I've suggested on the introduction video, this is how I'm going to go about this portrait this time. As fast as I can, you have the forehead, side of the face, her left side here, chin, jaw coming that way, hair which cuts here, hair coming on that side, darker tone here, nose going upwards, eye, this eye is higher than the other eye, this eye is lower, but of course we have the eyebrow on the top on both eyes, we have lips literally literally open lips, you have the teeth showing, but I'm not going to engage with the teeth because that will be just a hazardous thing to do. It's very difficult to get right the teeth. And that's the neck, hair, loads of curly hair. Here I'm going to work it in a different approach, which is basically coming this way, and that's the glow that we have here on the hair, and the other side of the hair, little bit of more hair here on the top of the skull here, and very, very little shadow on this portrait. So this is how to create volume on a light, very bright portrait. And there we have it. So coming straight to the shadow and shadowing more than what actually the portrait has, more shadow, basically. Increase the shadow, although it's not there, but increase the shadow. And of course I need now to be a little bit more precise with the portrait because she's a very pretty girl, and I'm not going in the right direction here with the likeness. And the likeness is, of course, extremely important if it's a commission, but that's not a commission, so I'm going to be a little bit more forgiving with myself in this case because it's not a commission. But still the likeness is, if you can get the likeness, I mean, if you can get a good regular portrait which is convincing, then it's fantastic. But if you can get the likeness, it's just absolutely brilliant if you can get it. And but at least we have we need to have the portrait basically correct with the movement of the portrait, with the gesture. She's looking on her left upwards, so if I can get that correctly, then it's a convincing portrait, and that's good enough. But if I can get the likeness, of course, as we said, that's even better. But let's not focus only on the likeness now, because I need to get the shadows going. And shadow here. Although I don't, I mean, the eye is inside the eye cavity, so I'm actually deliberately darkening the eye, although it's not in the dark. But as I said, this is a very, very bright portrait, and this is the trick here, how to make this portrait voluminous. And let's see if I can increase the shadow as much as I can, and be on the bright side too, because we don't want to get the portrait too dark. She's a very bright-skinned individual, so we need to get that correct, as I said, as much as we can. And then here we have the beautiful curl of her hair, and this is the earlobe is right at the same level as the side of the mouth. Lots of curls coming this way, lots of curls coming that way, and it's just full of a wind like almost like the wind has moved the hair all over. So it's not easy to get it, but relatively easier than the face, the hair is. Normally, not always. But yes, normally than the features, it's the hair, but on the other side, it's hard to get the volume right. Now, that's the philtrum here, a little bit under the white of the eye, which is almost never white, because it's, first of all, because of where it is. It's under the shadow of the eyelid and eye cavity, so it's not white by definition because it's under the influence of a shadow. But secondly, it's not white. It appears to be white because it's compared to the color of the eye, it just get that contrast and you see that it's white. But again, it's under the influence of a shadow of the eye cavity. And here I have the chin and a little bit. Now I'm trying to get it, I'm grinding my charcoal here, not on a sandpaper, but I'm grinding it here on the spot, on the drawing pad. So I'm making the charcoal. You see the profile of it? Look how thin it is. It's like a little cutter, basically. And why I've done that? Because I want to create some very, 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 very soft shadows here. Now, why shadows? The neck should be white or should be lit. Well, it is lit here, but not here. Just under the jaw. So I have a consistent coloring. I mean, shadowing, but I'm calling coloring because I'm obviously that comes because I was painting up to now. Sorry for sending the portrait late. Sorry, everyone. I almost forgot that it's Tuesday, but I got it now. This is when you're 2 days off and you think it's Saturday and Sunday, but actually it was Sunday, Monday. It was Monday, Tuesday. And that's why I forgot it was a Tuesday. Anyhow, now the eye, she's looking up. So get the eye, not the pupil, but the iris a little bit bigger. Done the iris bigger than what actually it is there, but doesn't matter. Bigger eyes are usually more attractive. So I'm doing kind of a Barbie here. My version of, let's call her Jessica. My version of Jessica. Okay, so a little bit of a lighter tone here on the top of the nose. And the teeth, as I've said earlier on, the teeth are bright. Again, they appear to be white, the same thing as the white of the eye, but they are under the shadow of the lip. So they cannot be white by definition, as white as the paper. Actually, the paper that I'm working on is beige. So they cannot be as beige as the paper because they are, again, under the mouth or inside the mouth. So they cannot be bright. Now I'm softening those shadows because they were a bit, from the beginning, I got them aggressively dark, very dark, and they shouldn't be as dark as that, but we can work on them now. And again, very dark shadows. And this is basically the Adam's apple that we have here. and just a little bit darker here, a little bit darker, there. Okay, and get the neck, and also right down here, it's not only the neck, it's her blouse, the beautiful dark black blouse that she's wearing, the color here. And I can come now with some brush and work it a little bit like I would work on a actual portrait, painting portrait. So get some darks here. Whoa, that was a big splash of charcoal. I've decimated the charcoal, but anyway, I'll come back now with a much smaller one. Okay, now take some black from here, and now you can do that with the fingers, but to be honest, my fingers now are all black from the charcoal. So I'm using the brush, and I can be more precise with the brush, and you can be the same. So the brush is a good tool, and also because we've used it on painting, so that's kind of we're used to it. And I'm dropping a little bit of the cheek there, less cheek, softer basically, and then come back here on the chin and bring the chin down here. So take some black, bring the chin down here, darker, darker, darker shadow of the nose onto her chin, sorry, cheek. See, now I'm softening all the previous darks that I had earlier on. Don't want it to look like Michael Jackson, so I'm making the eyes smaller, a little bit less black here because it's kind of blondish here, and a little bit of a softer tonal value. Now, hard edges, as we all know, bring the form or the shape or the subject closer. Softer edges bring or push the subject, or let's say the mouth. No, the mouth is closer to the viewer, but let's say the hair. If I do a sharp edge here, I bring that hair closer to me. So if I push it back or I soften it, then obviously you're showing to the viewer that that's a further away, whatever that can be. It can be hair, it can be limbs, anything. Could be a tree on a landscape, the sea, the line of the sea. If it's too sharp, then the line of the sea, the horizon, brings it very close to the shore, and we don't want that. And hair here. Now I can again take some black here from the jacket, from her shirt, and bring it here. A little bit darker under the eyes. The nose, especially the nostril, needs to be a little bit sharper, as in lower like that, lower. Philtrum, not to forget the philtrum is especially important on this particular portrait. She does have a very specific and sharp philtrum, which a lot of people don't actually, but I guess it goes with the age. The younger you are, the more you see the philtrum. That's a shadow of the hair above her left cheek. And again, less of a Michael Jackson and more like, did we call her Jessica? Yeah, Jessica. Okay. All right. Now, I'll stop recording on normal time, because now it's all about rendering, and you will see the rendering on a slightly hyperlapse, and that will avoid all my blabbering, and obviously because I need to concentrate a little bit more, but also there's no need to talk that much. It's just about fixing and rendering. Okay.